everybody, and welcome to the next episode of Bisportuals, your new favorite sports podcast. I'm your host, Ryan.
I'm Cameron.
And I'm Kyle.
Thank you all for joining us on this wonderful week. How was all your weekends? How was everyone's weekend? Anyone do anything? Well,
it was so bad.
Well,
I worked every day. I'm still working. I'm working right now. This is work.
I had the worst hangover of my life, and then I watched the Wolves win by 42, so...
That's a bounce back. Surely the Wolves bounced back just as well. We'll talk about that later in the episode. But as you may have seen, lovely viewers, as you may have seen on our social media pages, big announcement. We now have a mailbox. Head to our Twitter, head to our Instagram. You can call in and be a part of the show. You can be on Bisportuals. Much like our much esteemed friend, our college basketball expert Griffin, we had earlier on, I believe it was episode 10. We had him on for our March Madness special. You too now have the opportunity to be on Bisportuals to tell us your hot sports takes, or maybe just to flame us. Maybe you think Kyle you don't like the hats Kyle wears. Maybe you don't like the bedspread on Cameron's bed. And maybe you think my forehead is too shiny.
Pillows.
Hey, you know what?
Hey, he said nothing about the pillows. He said the bedspread.
Yeah. Look, I'm saying I like the bedspread, Cameron. I think
it has personality.
It has personality. I'm just saying what the viewers could say. Besides, I think they smell great when you're asleep in them.
Thank you.
No problem. But you can now call in. We've had one courageous viewer already call in, and we are going to go ahead and take a listen to their call in today and see what they have to say. So let's go ahead. Let's take a listen to our first ever official Bisportuals call in.
Hey guys, Matt here.
Hi, Matt.
First time caller,
Matt.
long time listener.
Oh.
Hey, Matt.
Appreciate the show.
Glad you like it.
Wanted to call in and give two topics for conversation today. And then there's going to be some bias shown, which is just natural. First off,
we can't bias on this.
Do a hypothetical.
What?
If Anthony Edwards wins a championship in, we'll say, the next 3-4 years, when he's hitting his prime, would that make him the best athlete in Minnesota history? We haven't won a championship since 91, I believe. I was born in 97. Rye was born in 2001.
It's a weird way to pronounce that year, but yeah.
So it's been a while. Would that make him
In
the best
2001.
in Minnesota history? Second, I was thinking the other day with the schedule release, what's the best hypothetical abroad game you'd like to go to? Examples being Green Bay versus the Vikings in Rio during Carnival or something like that, or Duke UNC in Monte Carlo, something cool outside like that. But also Duke UNC being in Durham is really cool as well. So a lot of possibilities there. Can't wait to hear your answers. Thanks, man. Have a good one. See ya.
What a Minnesota end to that. Thank you. Have a good one.
Yeah.
See ya.
You can take.
I
You
will
can
have
take.
a good one. Thank you.
You can take the boy out of Minnesota, but you can't take the Minnesota out of the boy.
Amen.
Thank you to our first official caller, Matt. Matt, I want to address your first point first, and then I'll let Kyle and Cameron take a go here. If Anthony Edwards were to win a chip in the next 3 to 4 years, remember he's only 23 right now. You don't really enter your basketball prime until like 25, 26. That's when it's considered like, okay, you should be in winning championships mode now. If he were to win a championship, I don't know if that would make him the best athlete in Minnesota sports history. Because I think you have better athletes that were more dominant that just didn't win. The name that comes to mind is Randy Moss. Like,
We've
Randy
discussed
Moss,
it before.
Yeah.
His name is a verb.
Yeah. Like, there are a few more dominant. It's like Jerry and then Randy at 1B for the most dominant receivers to ever play the game. And players that have an impact on like the game as a whole are just on a different tier. Like, I don't think I love Anthony Edwards. I don't think he's going to go down as like one of the best shooting guards of all time. I just don't think.
Probably not.
I just don't think he's going to be that good. Now, will he be the best Minnesota sports player, like as an icon of like Minnesota sports? Probably. He did what KG couldn't, which was bring home a ring. And that's like you said, we haven't had a ring since the Twins in I think 91.
Mm-hmm.
That's something the city and the state has been dying for. I think it would make him the most influential and powerful Minnesota like athlete in terms of like what he means to Minnesota. Just not an impact on the game. He would be almost as impactful on his game as Kirk Cousins' agent is to getting max contracts. Like, that's
More
how
on that later.
impactful he would be. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Kyle, I want to throw this to you first.
Yeah, I think the caveat here is just like greatest like, you know, player in Minnesota sports. I think he'd be the greatest player in Timberwolves history, period. Period, the end.
Hands
like,
down.
No question, no doubt. But he still isn't going to get to that point. And I think the only way that he can really beat KG is with a ring or multiple MVPs, you know, the whole dynasty. Like, there's ways for him to get around that. And I apologize for the dogs. If you can hear those, they're all rallying around me. So I think that's the caveat that I wanted to drive is like, if he wins, he would be the greatest Timberwolf of all time, not the greatest Minnesota athlete of all time. Because I agree with Ryan. I think that's Randy Moss. But I still think he's a generational talent. If he were to bring one home, I would cry so many tears of joy. I think I mentioned it on this podcast. I told my boss I would not be at work for a week if we win a championship. He would genuinely impact my life if he went to championship the next couple of years. But I also feel that way about the Vikings. Like, if the Vikings win a Super Bowl, I'm sorry, I'm not going to work for a year. Like, you will not see me ever again. Like, I will be just that elated. So, again, like, and part of that is just general upbringing and the pain that Minnesota, the Vikings at least have gone through. Not necessarily the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves are starting to experience that pain right now. We'll talk about that more later. But just still, I don't think he would be the number one Minnesota all-time athlete for bringing us a ring first through this drought.
Now, if he goes on to win multiple rings,
there's a conversation.
I also did just think of something, and maybe Cameron, you were going to talk about this. Randy did leave.
I actually wasn't going to talk about Randy at all. You guys completely forgot a name. Minnesota.
Franz Arkinen?
No.
Joe Mauer?
Kirby Puckett?
No. You sexist fucks. You forgot that Minnesota recently had a dynasty in a sports league.
No, Maya Moore, I'm so sorry.
Won
Maya
3 championships
Maya Moore is
with
the Minnesota
Lynx.
Maya Moore is the correct answer. Fuck. Maya Moore is the correct answer. Oh my god. Holy shit.
That's on me. I need to go through some serious training. Some serious like rehabilitation of my mind.
Yeah, Maya Moore is the greatest
I sincerely apologize.
athlete in Minnesota sports history. I say if Ant can get 2 rings and an MVP in the next 5 years, then maybe, probably. But
I'm devastated.
Yeah, you bitches.
Ryan, we fucking suck.
Holy shit,
we're awful.
We forgot Maya Moore. Shaking my head the entire time.
Oh my god. We didn't even talk about Nafisa Collier, and she's going to win MVP this year.
She better. Holy shit.
Caitlin Clark's going to be out for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
It's Nafisa's
chance.
That's like a quarter of the season.
Yeah.
So
they only play like 7 games.
Well,
that felt disrespectful. No, I'm sorry, WNBA.
It's still like 40.
Fee's averaging 30 and is locked down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also averaging like 9 rebounds a night. Killer.
Better than Rudy.
which is good because Courtney Williams she's been working construction with how many bricks she's been putting up. Holy crap, dude. I love her, but she has to pick a new shot other than like a foot inside the 3-point line midi, because it's just an inefficient shot. Either take the 3 or get a closer mid-range shot, because it's just a really inefficient shot. It's hard. It's really hard because you're basically shooting a 3-pointer, but you're only getting 2 points worth out of it. It's tough. But the Lynx are 3-0 as of recording. They're currently playing right now, and they are up by 5 against the Seattle Storm with 2.5 minutes left.
Shout out Nika Mule.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Let's see, what's Fee's stat line so far? Oh, well, I take everything I said back. Courtney Williams is leading in points. She's 9 for 7. She's 9 for 17 from the field. So
let's go, Courtney.
Nafisa have like 5 blocks?
Yeah, she is. Nafisa Collier has 10 boards, 14 points, 5 assists. Let me check the box score for the blocks. She has 3 blocks right now.
How many steals?
5 steals.
Jesus.
Yeah.
First going for a 5x5.
Yeah. And still 14 points. She's plus 10. Courtney Williams is plus 11, though.
MVP.
Truly.
MVP.
The MVP. Yes. But let's move on.
Okay,
to
second.
Fuck the Liberty.
Fuck
But
the Liberty.
Second point that our dear caller Matt raised. Cameron, do you have an answer right away for this?
I do. I would love to see the Utah Jazz versus the Washington Wizards in Guangzhou, China.
That's fire.
Anyhow.
Yeah.
I've been very clear about what my favorite single game has been ever. And really, I just want that back. So if you can just give
2016 Finals Game 7?
No. If you can give me the Carrier Classic again.
Yeah.
Michigan State, Duke, playing basketball on an aircraft carrier. That was fucking sick. I want to be there for Carrier Classic 2. God, it'd be so God. Every picture from that is just so incredibly full of aura. It has there's no comparison. Carrier Classic.
I wish that like Olympics games were like it had like better stadiums. Like because like I'm just thinking like the Paris ones, and it was like you look at all like the video footage from it, and the fans are like 30 feet away from the game. There's no one like courtside. So if the Olympics had like a better venue, and maybe we can find the venue here, I would love to see like a USA versus France or whoever. I just want to see USA show up like for basketball in fuck it, throw it in the Coliseum. I think that'd be sick.
Oh, wait, the Roman one or the one in LA?
The Roman one.
Okay, yeah, that would be sick. I did think you were talking about USC, the Coliseum,
Oh, no.
and I'm like, you couldn't see a thing. It's a football stadium.
Right, but I think I want to watch some. Like I want to be in person for an Olympics game and make it fire.
Ooh,
That
I
would be
also would like to see the Daytona 500 inside Target Center.
That wouldn't.
I think
work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could.
I would love to see also give me a WWE boxing match, except in the rotunda at the Mall of America.
Ooh, that's international.
And I want to be on the second or third deck, second or third balcony, leaning on the railing, watching that, have a little overhead view down in the rotunda.
Ooh, one more idea. Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Philadelphia 76ers in the middle of the Bermuda Triangle.
So we'd never have to see them play basketball again?
It's a possibility.
Maybe. Well, thank you so much, Matt, for those wonderful questions, and thank you for calling in, being the first official caller into Bisportuals. If you want to be featured on Bisportuals and you want your takes heard, you want us to react to your takes, answer your questions, talk about your hypotheticals, or if you just want to roast Cameron's bedspread, feel free. I will check out our Instagram and our Twitter. I will also post in the description of this episode will be a link, and all of our episodes going forward will be a link to the Mailbox. It's a website. You can go ahead and record. You can record straight from the website. You don't have to record a file beforehand. It's a great service. Go ahead, record your take. Let us hear it. We want to hear what you have to say. So please go ahead, call in. Even if it's just hey, love the show, fuck you, Kyle. Like that one. Do you remember that one iconic call in from the Pat McAfee show of that little 6-year-old kid?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, being like,
No.
I'm 6. I love the Patriots. Fuck Boston Connor, and then he hangs up, and they all lose it. That'd be iconic. But please,
we'll figure it
call
out.
in. Yeah, we want to hear what you have to say. Let's go ahead. Let's move on to the NBA. Now, before we get in to our takes over the recent games in the NBA Conference Finals, we got a fun game we're going to play. It's a little bit of a different version of it because we don't have some of the physical materials usually needed to play this game. We are going to play NBA wavelengths. So how this one is going to work, 2 of the 3 of us are going to be in cahoots, and we're going to try to get the other person to guess a number between 1 and 10 that they decide. That person who's guessing has to do that by naming categories, and the other 2 people have to produce items or things that fit in that category that are about that number on a 1 out of 10 scale. So for example, the example I always use is if I'm trying to guess the number, and the category is things you could have for lunch, and Kyle and Cameron decided the number is 1. So I say, category, things you would have for lunch. Kyle would go, shit sandwich.
I would have said cement.
That would also probably be a 1. That would give me a hint as to what it is. The trick is, we can't use just any categories. This is, after all, NBA wavelength. So you gotta use NBA categories. All right. So here's, just to make an example of it, I will guess first. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to cover my eyes. You 2 on camera, without speaking, figure out the number you guys want to do, and then let me know once you've picked your number. Okay?
Sir, yes, sir. Okay.
We're good.
All right. I'm sure that's going to be great for the audio listeners. I'll put a little bit of, I'll put Jeopardy music on there or something. Okay. So I have no idea what the number is. I'm now going to give you a category, and you have to give me something in that category that about fits that number. So I'm going to go with active Minnesota Timberwolf players.
I'm feeling a Julius Randle.
I'm feeling a Jaden McDaniels.
Ooh. Okay, we're 5 and up for sure. We're in the top half of the set. Now, if it's playoff Julius Randle, we're leaning that 8-9 range. But if it's the whole season Julius Randle, then we're kind of in 7. Maybe 6, 7, 8-ish. Jaden McDaniels, he's taken a step offensively. I think he hasn't shot the 3 nearly as much. I'd love to see him pull from 3 more. But I think right now I'm thinking in the 7-8 range, but I don't know yet. So my second category is going to be MVPs of the last, let's say, 2 decades.
2 decades. It's such a...
Yeah. Since 2000-ish.
Okay.
I'm feeling probably 2020 Giannis.
Like that. I'm trying to go for like a deeper pool, and I gotta remember. I want to say it was 2011, 2012 Braun.
Who's the
I
first
think it
one
was,
he
I
won in
think it,
Miami?
yes, the first one he won in Miami.
Yeah, that was 11, 12,
Yeah.
2012 MVP.
Okay. So first year in Miami, Braun. I don't know if it's as
It's second year in Miami, LeBron. First year in Miami was D Rose.
It
oh
was
yeah.
his
First
first
MVP
MVP
in Miami.
in Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of peak LeBron. You could
It-
argue like
it is.
second stint Cavs. Oh, now I'm leaning like 8, 9 ish because it's not a top tier. It's not Steph
Unanimous.
Curry's. It's not unanimous Steph Curry. It's not Nikola Jokic. It's not like a D Rose or a Dirk.
D Rose is honestly kind of low. Like,
Nah, the story.
You don't know
it
ball.
depends.
I do know that LeBron should have at least 5 MVPs in a row.
I'm sitting in the 8-9 range. I'm sitting 8-9 now. Because that Giannis one is also, I mean, peak of his freaking powers. It's Giannis. God. Okay. This final one needs to really put the nail in the coffin for me. I'm going to go with NBA celebrations.
A very subjective category.
Yeah, it is subjective, but I think there's some clear standouts that I think might communicate.
I honestly am gonna put Ja Morant grenade.
Solid. It's the only one that comes to mind, but I feel like it's too. It leans one way more than the other, so I can't say it. I'll do the Steph Curry the night.
A night. God, Cameron, you must think really highly of the grenade.
It's fucking awesome. It's a grenade.
I mean, it is cool.
Grenades
when he
are
goes, when he
sick.
throws it and then he covers his ears. I think that part's fun.
See,
He does the LeBron thing.
I'm still stuck between an 8 and a 9. The only reason I so want to go 9. The only reason, because of night. The only reason I feel like it might be 8 is because when anyone other than Steph does the night, it's ass. It's awful. But I don't know if you thought about that. So I'm gonna go with 9. Was 9 the number?
Son of
It was
8.
It was 8.
I should have known Julius Randle isn't a 9. Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
The first celebration that came to mind was like Ants DMX, but I'm like, that's too high.
The first thing I thought of was the ice in my veins. D-Lo.
Oh.
D-Lo, yeah.
I was thinking.
But
I
he
was
has
thinking
lost so much aura since then.
9 or 10. I was thinking. The LeBron silencer. But that might be a 10.
I think that LeBron season that Kyle chose is probably a 9 or a 10.
Yeah. It was just he was leaning like 6, 7, 8. So I wanted to like I was trying to find the season that wasn't like again, that wasn't like a perfect season, but it was like a
I think it's like top 3 of the past 20 years. I think it's his best MVP season.
It's his best MVP for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So then I was thinking of the wrong one then, because I was thinking he had one in that like Miami stint where it was like clearly it was just one of those like, okay, no one else is really like killing it this year.
It would have been
probably the year after. Yeah.
It would have been the next year, then.
Yep.
Okay. Well, you know what? Within one, not bad. You guys did great. It was a 50-50 for me, and I picked the wrong one. That's on me. All right, Kyle, you want to go ahead and close your eyes?
So yes, sir.
All right. All right, open them up. Open them up, big boy.
The number is 4.
Oh, crap.
I'm just kidding. Okay, I had to write down categories, otherwise I would have forgotten them. Okay, first one. Goated NBA nicknames. I need some good shit in here.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay. Um. Oh fuck.
What about fine the big purr?
The Big Purr.
The big purr.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go. Oh, wait. This is so easy for me. What am I doing? This is the anomaly.
I think that's
Okay,
that's like
so
a 0.
I was gonna say, like, I'm leaning low half here. Like, I'm sitting at like a 2 or a 3. Me personally, I'm not a fan of the Big Purr. Um, and then also with Orion's, I'm kind of metagaming this a little bit. Ryan's
Fair
just
game.
disdain for the anomaly. I'm leaning like high 2, low 3 right now. Um, my
What's the
next category,
category?
my next category is a classic, at least for me. NBA punchable faces.
Fuck, that was one of my categories. Shit.
Oh.
I'm thinking like a nice
I'm gonna go with.
Anthony Edwards.
I'm gonna go with Rajon Rondo.
I I think that Rajon, there may be something, and it may just be my imagination. I feel like my fist could fit pretty well into his face, but I don't want to punch Ant. I don't think he has a very punchable face. I think I'm going to move up a little bit, like high 3, low 4 here. It'd be really funny if I actually guessed the number. Um, okay, my last one. NBA corniest players.
So really corny is a 10.
Yeah, like incredibly corny is a 10, and absolutely just like opposite of corny, like pure,
Mike Conley.
like pure. Oh,
I'd
I know
have
I'm only
to,
giving you wolves, but I feel like you'd relate to that.
I'd have to go with. Oh gosh, there's a face that I'm picturing that I just can't put a name to. I'm gonna have to go with.
I have a second name that I think
I'm
also.
gonna go with Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson. I mean, he's not really corny. He has corny moments, but he's not like a corny person. And the same thing with Mike. The one discredit that I have to give to Mike is that he has a brand called Good Guys Finish First, which is a little corny. It's a little corny.
It's a little horny.
I'm talking about
I mean, that's
on the court
on the court only.
as a basketball, just as a basketball
Okay.
player, not as
Okay.
a
So
personality.
then he's a 1 on a scale of 1 to 10 for that. So is that the number that I'm supposed to be at, or is that Cam saying you need to go back to where you were where you were starting? I'm gonna say a 2.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Congrats! What a pull! You pulled it back.
Yeah.
You're heading in the wrong direction. Maybe I misled you a little bit. That was my bad.
Rajon has like nice cheekbones that I feel like if you can get under in there, it'd be pretty satisfying.
I feel like his face is too sharp and it would hurt my hand.
But again, like pure satisfaction, like or satisfaction.
Satisfaction.
Yeah, I know. I'm tired. Pure satisfaction. Like I can just imagine it, like resting well on my knuckles.
All right, Cameron, close them eyes, boy.
Close your fucking eyes.
All right.
Yeah.
Lift it up, boy.
why you keep
Good
calling me boy?
Good boy.
Man. All right, first category. How good are they as a rim protector?
Is this like bigs only? Or
No, just
any
anyone.
player? Any player?
Okay.
In full honesty, give me Dante DiVincenzo. Yeah, give me Dante DiVincenzo.
I'm thinking like I don't know why I'm stuck on him because I feel like it's the wrong answer. But like the one name that just keeps popping back into my thought bubble is Jalen Suggs.
They're both not great at rim protection, but they're also not like Trae Young levels of cooked. I'm feeling like 3 to 4. I think Dante is probably more 3. Jalen Suggs is more 4. but that's kind of where I'm feeling right now.
All right.
Next category is no, that one's stupid. Actually, I still need to come up with one more. But how likely are they to do a Skims ad?
Oh,
Great category,
Shit.
I gotta say. Great
Shit.
category.
How likely are you to do a Skims ad? Give me. I'm gonna go with Jamal Murray.
That's a solid
That's
answer.
Above, that's probably like a 6.
I purely because I think it would be funny if he did it. Zion Williamson.
That's still like a 4. I'm gonna say 4 or 5. Probably 5 is where I'm. Jamal Murray, he posted his dick on Instagram.
He did do that.
Yeah, he's a little bit older though. Last category, since I can't really think of a good one, likeliness to be in the closet.
Oh
Man.
God.
What do you
I'm
mean
gonna
you
say-
couldn't think of a good one?
I'm gonna say the first name that comes to my mind, which is Chris Middleton.
That's like a shit. I don't actually know if he has a wife or not. That's very middle of the ground because like you can say like fucking Chris Paul is probably like a 1.
Unless it's with Scott Foster, then it's a 10.
Oh, enemies to lovers.
I never thought of it that way. The first name that popped into my mind is the tweeter of the tweet behind Cameron right now, and it's Kevin Durant.
I thought you were gonna say McLovin.
I'm
Come
gonna
on, Ryan. You said
lock
active
in.
NBA.
I'm gonna lock in 5.
Fucking go. Let's fucking go.
I did
dude.
it.
Great work.
Yes.
Great work. So I'm the only one that didn't get it. Wow.
Yeah, you suck.
I gotta work on my wavelength skills. Well,
It's
congrats.
the tough part is like you have to read people. You have to know you gotta be in the same wavelength. Cam and I are literally like a couple miles apart from each other, and you are thousands of miles from us.
Yeah,
Like-
we're kind of locked in a little bit. We're
Yeah.
like twisted up and like gang and shit and like twin trim.
Fuck you.
Type.
Fuck you.
Well, we can't keep delaying the inevitable. Let's go ahead. Let's talk about it. As of recording, the Timberwolves. Also, FYI, just to brighten the mood a little bit, the Lynx did win. They're now 4-0.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, they're 5-0.
Are they 5-0? They're now 5-0. But as of recording, last night, Monday, May 26th, the Timberwolves lost a nail biter in Target Center, 128 to 126. It was a painful game. They shot better percentage-wise. They took, I think we still took more threes than OKC, but turnovers killed us, and some untimely offensive inefficiency and a lack of offensive presence from our two-star players, Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle, who combined for a total of 21 points. I believe the leading scorer on the team was Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who may have just played himself into a little bit of a pay bump again, as he is a free agent this year. I want to get this off my chest real quick, because as you both know, I haven't said it. I don't think I've said it on this podcast yet, but there's a take that I've had before, especially when it comes to the Timberwolves specifically. I'm going to get nice and close to the microphone for this one. How the fuck do we keep losing on the boards? We have Rudy Gobert, Naz Reid, and some of the longest guards and forwards known to man. How the fuck do we keep losing on the boards? It's just we don't want the ball. We don't want the ball.
try.
Apparently,
They don't
we don't want
box
the ball.
out.
We
Yeah,
don't want.
Yep.
It's an effort. It's an effort. It's
Yes.
100% effort, and this
Agreed.
team does not want to rebound. Just like they clearly can put in effort because they do it on the defensive end. They play good defense sometimes, but we just say Chris Finch just says, "Man, fuck rebounding." What? How can you? It is a pure effort thing, and how can that not be one of the biggest things? We got torched on the offensive glass by OKC. I get it. If Rudy has bad position against Isaiah Hartenstein and he gets the ball, that's one thing. J-Dub should not be getting rebounds over Jaden McDaniels. He just shouldn't. It's such a fundamental thing that helps you win games, like statistically. If you win the battle on the boards, you have a much better chance of winning the basketball game because you have more possessions. It's a possessions game. You lost by 2 points. Should you make your free throws? Yes. Do you want more from your stars? Yes. But if you just have presence on the glass, if the guards crash the glass, and if the bigs can box out, that game would have been ours by 8 points. I'd put my house on that. But the guards, I think it's on the guards especially. We just don't want to crash the glass. We don't follow shots. I think it's because we're so worried about either getting back down on defense to not give up the fast break or staying on the perimeter for the kick out three. And it's like, 2 points are better than nothing, dude. Crash the boards. Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Cameron, I want to throw it to you. How do you feel?
Wolves in 7, bitch. Never giving up. We got this. We beat them by 42, which is the biggest loss they've ever seen this season. We nearly beat them again in game 4. There were some very interesting calls during that game. I'm not going to say that the reffing was good. I'm not going to say that it was like atrocious. Because there were some times where they were just letting them play, but there were some interesting calls, like a jump ball for no reason.
Yeah, that was a weird jump
I thought that
ball.
was stupid. Like the Chet jumping. That was weird.
Yeah, that should have been a travel.
I don't know. There were so many that should have been a travel for both teams that they didn't call, because who calls a travel in the NBA?
I get it. Who calls a travel in the NBA? But if you're going to go by that logic, who calls a carry?
Yeah, that was bullshit. Sorry. Sorry.
Ant got called for a carry. Who calls a carry in the year of our Lord 2025?
Yeah, that's fair. Steph carries every time he touches the ball.
Yeah. It's okay. Everyone can do it. It's the NBA. You're just given that luxury. Just like you get 3 steps instead of 2 on layups. Like, we all kind of just understand that. I don't know. Apparently, Tony Brothers didn't. Just kidding. That wasn't Tony Brothers. Who was that? I don't remember who the slate of refs was. But they thought so.
Yeah, I think this is very winnable if, like what Ryan says, we were able to crash the glass. Big thing, Rudy Gobert, when you get a rebound, do this. Don't do this, because then they're going to hit it out of your hands every single time. They try it every time, and it works every time. Up here.
Play like you're 7-2.
That's
are.
A big part of our turnovers is losing rebounds on knockouts, and very preventable. Turnovers absolutely killed us. I still don't think this series is necessarily over. I do have a bit of hope still. Call me crazy, but
I was going to say, to jump on the hope
7.
side of things, the last time that the Oklahoma City Thunder were in this exact position in the Western Conference Finals, up 3-1, they did lose 3 straight games. Now, granted, I recognize that the team that they lost those 3 games to was the 2016 Warriors, but
we're comparable. And
we
his
beat the Warriors.
Curry.
We beat the Warriors.
You got Jaden McDaniels.
So, like, Wolves at 7. Wolves are back. We have never left.
Correct.
This is where we want them to be, because then the story is that much better. And also, I'm surprised that we are able to record this podcast, because for the fans at home that did not know, Cam and I were both at the game. I was one of many fans that anytime shit gay ass touched the ball, I booed until I could not boo anymore. I physically, I was strained in the fourth quarter because I was booing so loud and so hard because I fucking hate that man. Fuck. That's how I feel. Just fuck.
No, I get statistically the free throw merchant narrative is kind of not true. statistically, but just visually.
Eye test.
It's not about statistics. It's not
eye
about
test.
statistics.
Yeah.
God.
You were defending him earlier this year for his MVP nom because he doesn't take as many free throws.
Statistically,
but the free throws that he gets
yeah,
are fucking cringe.
like he has a great mid-range and layup package. He just doesn't use it because he's too busy trying to trip anytime a defensive player matches his crossover. He just falls to the ground and gets called for
Honestly,
it.
like I think Shea learned the game of basketball. You know, those Sky Zone basketball courts where it's
Oh,
all
yeah.
padded and you can jump super high and super far. That's where he learned how to play basketball. Is he jumps on the ground and jumps at people instead of actually attempting to shoot the basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And it pisses me off.
Yeah, his mid range is so fucking good.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. He would be so easy to root for if he didn't have a BFA in theater arts by fucking acting like he got assaulted. On the one the one clip that goes around, I think it's from game 3, not from game 4, but where Shea is driving on Ant and Ant's just matching his body position and he just goes I think it's game 3. You would have thought there was a sniper in the second bowl. It's bad. Man, eye test. It's all about the eye test. But look, in here, Wolves in 7.
Wolves in 7.
In here, it's Thunder in 5. But in here, it's Wolves in 7.
They're going to take their foot off the gas a little bit. We saw what happened when they took their foot off the gas a little bit. They lost by 42.
True. And then it's game 6 Ant, followed by game 7 Rudy Gobert with a fadeaway. So.
True.
Don't let us get one.
And we already got one.
Mm-hmm. And it was a 42-point win.
True.
Mm-hmm. We can do it.
Yes. Let's go ahead on a less depressing topic, maybe. Let's move over to the East. The Pacers and the New York Knicks. It was going to be Pacers up 3-0 until Jalen Brunson decided, you know what? Actually, I'm going to do what coaches usually do, which is get tossed, but actually I'm just going to foul out or be in foul trouble, and that's going to spark Karl Anthony Towns to turn into what his potential was supposed to be all along. 20 points in the fourth quarter, 24 total. He had 4 points in the first 3 quarters. 20 in the fourth, spark a huge comeback for the Knicks, and they come back to win Game 3 in Indiana, in Gainbridge Fieldhouse. I wanted to say, I can't remember what the statistic was, but it's teams leading by 20 in the fourth quarter in the playoffs. There's been 7 or 8 comebacks in playoff history when teams lead by that much, and 3 of them are the Knicks this year. Yeah. It was the 2 against Boston, and then this one against Indiana. So does this, I want to start with Cameron, does this game 3 comeback, is this the spark that New York needed to get back into the series after dropping 2 at home?
I am sticking with my Pacers in 6 take. They're getting more tired. I just want to talk about game 1 because holy shit, that was one of the best basketball games I've ever watched.
Mm-hmm. Crazy.
Aaron Nesmith turned into Jesus in the fourth quarter. It was a 20-6 run in the last 2.5 minutes of the game. 20 points in 2.5 minutes. Wild. Most of that was Aaron Nesmith. Down the stretch.
What was he, 6 for 6 from 3?
I think so.
Yeah.
And then down the stretch, Kat and OG Anunoby, you could tell they were tired. They missed a couple key free throws. Tyrese Halliburton, he gets the ball with 6 seconds. He runs down the floor. He looks for the layup, but there's no room, so he walks back to the 3-point line, fires, bounces off the rim, up and into the basket. Craziest shot I've ever seen. But wait, his foot was on the line. It's 2 points. We're going to overtime. Where it was just straight Pacers. And
that's the crazy thing about that is, I'm going to be honest, I thought Tyrese had a layup there. I did not think he was like he didn't have like they were crowding the
I
paint.
don't think
he got by Mitchell Robinson, didn't he?
I don't think he got the look he wanted. So
I think I think it was he didn't get a clean look, and something in the back of his mind, he could hear Anthony Edwards saying, "I don't want to go to overtime." So
He shot that bitch from Yucatan.
no, he didn't.
nah,
He
that's
shot
how
it from the
far that
line.
bitch was.
Yep.
No, he shot it from the line actually, so it wasn't actually even a 3.
Well, I'm aware.
But what a crazy.
Pacers they've got a deeper rotation. They've got any guy who can really step up. Tyrese Halliburton has been insane. I still think Pacers are coming out of the series.
Yeah. One critical piece of information that Cameron forgot to notify our fans of. If you are all familiar with John Halliburton, who was who was like temporarily banned from Pacers games because of the altercation he had. Yeah. He is now officially allowed to return to Gamebridge Fieldhouse? Is that
how? Gamebridge Fieldhouse.
And currently at time
in a
of
suite
recording,
level, not courtside.
Yeah, suite level,
can't be courtside.
But still, his presence in the building is there, and only at home games, not at away games. With his home game appearance, the Pacers are currently up 113 to 100 with 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter at time of recording. So there's
the John effect.
Yeah, he's their
might
lucky
be
charm.
Real. The John effect might be real.
So unfortunately, I wish I made the take of Pacers in 5 because that's how I now feel the series is going to go. But I got to stick with the Knicks in 6, which is just not possible anymore. So
did I say Knicks in 7 or Pacers in 7?
I think you said Knicks in 7.
I know I said this goes to 7.
Oh no, we all said 7. I said Indy. You guys said New York.
Okay.
Oh, I thought I said Knicks in 6.
Yeah,
I mean, hey,
I thought I said Pacers in 6.
No, I just didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't see this game being. Well, I saw this series going every game could go one of two ways, which is Indiana either blows New York the fuck out, or New York keeps the game close into the fourth quarter and they win because they have the clutch player of the year. But now, not only has that not been the case, but you kind of have to ask the question, is Jalen Brunson the most clutch player in this series?
No.
Yeah, it's not. He's not. The question has been answered. It's been asked and answered. It's Tyrese Halliburton. Now,
it's been signed and shipped.
I don't think that. I think Jalen Brunson still was the clutch player of the year because it's a regular season award. But in this series, you can't deny, in the man who has come through for his team in the biggest moments has been Tyrese Halliburton. It's just, I mean, it's not a.
Yeah.
I mean,
they were down 14 points with 2.5 minutes left.
And the whole Knick comeback was basically with Jalen Brunson on the bench because he was in foul trouble. It was cat. And so
there's a conversation here.
Yeah. You know, it also does come down to, I remember there was I think it was in a post-game presser earlier in the year. Jalen Brunson said of his team and defensive effort, he said, you know, all of these guys can defend and I can take charges, because he's kind of nearing like Trae Young levels of defensive effort. Only because, maybe not effort, but he's just so small. Mm-hmm. He's an itty bitty little guy.
Yeah.
And it's tough to defend at a good level, especially a Tom Thibodeau level, when you're 4'11" in basketball terms. So it might not be his fault, but they might have to do what the Warriors do with Steph Curry, which is you're in on offense in clutch time when it's like timeout. You're in on offensive possessions, and we're taking you out for DeLon Wright, who got some good run in that game 3 and was a defensive presence. instead of someone like Campaign, who's more of an offensive guy, they might get some run out of that. They might have to give him the Steph treatment. I don't know. These conversations have to be had. Any final takes on the conference finals here?
I just want the Wolves
I
to
would
win.
really like to see at least one player's pants and underwear fall off.
I think there's been a severe lack of genitalia on live television in these series. It's
would
honestly
agree.
disappointing.
It is disappointing.
Even just look, we got Josh Hart grabbed Sack in the conference semis. Like, give us like a dick
just
imprint.
a tease,
just
a
something,
tease.
something, anything. The queers are begging for it. Please.
Even the straights, even just basketball fans, it would be great for the sport.
It would be so beneficial on all levels. We already know that, Shea got outmeted in a Skims ad by Donovan Mitchell. Maybe we have to find out on the court if Anthony Edwards outmeets him.
I mean, he told that fan that he would.
He claims that he would.
Yeah. So maybe we need to prove it. Maybe that's the half-court show for Game 7, is they both come out of the locker room, stand together at center court, face each other, and just drop trow, and they see who has the bigger dick. I'd put money on it.
I would put money on buying a ticket.
Give me courtside.
Front row. Give me on the court. I'll be the official measurer. I got the tape measure and everything.
I was gonna say, I'd be a protester. I'd just get a ticket into the game, and then I would like jump out of the court during it. It just
glue your hand to the court.
I'll be the official sperm tester, taste tester.
I was gonna say for what? Yeah. For what?
I don't know. Count. See who's more fertile.
It's Ant.
Yeah, obviously.
Statistically.
Statistically. All right, let's go ahead. Let's move on to the NFL. Here, I know we didn't talk about it last week, but that was the conference final extravaganza, I think I titled it, or spectacular. I don't remember, but it was all about the conference finals. But we're going to open up with a classic. We're starting OTAs now. We're going to talk about OTAs, who's here, who's not. But someone who's always here at OTAs is the head coaches. And remember, there's still some head coaches who owe us money. So this is a subtle reminder that 17.5% still, the interest is spiking. But
compounds monthly, so you owe us about like $4 billion. So
I actually got a letter from the bank that now it's going to compound weekly. So
jeez,
dude.
Well, that's great for us. Bad for Pete Carroll.
And if you look at the Fed, they are not lowering interest rates.
No, they are not.
I want to give a quick pointer to the NFL teams that owe us money. There's this really cool service called Klarna, and like Afterpay. If you use that to pay us back, then you don't have to pay them back. So then really, like, they would owe us the money.
True.
Because they have interest-free loans. We have an interest loan. So if you just pay us a couple $1 billion, we'll be fine.
Yeah. And then Klarna's going to go bankrupt here. So you won't owe anything. It's a win-win.
The money just magically appears in our bank account.
Yeah. And no one will ever follow up about it. Nobody will know. But, we know the common head coach. We know Kevin O'Connell. We know Andy Reid. We know, Matt LaFleur. We know Dan Campbell. But what of some of these new guys? Or some of these guys who've been in the league for a while who, what the fuck? How have they been in the league for a while? They've done nothing. So we are going to play a classic game of Name That Coach. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to show my co-hosts a picture of an NFL head coach. These are all their official Wikipedia pictures on the NFL head coaches page. So not only is it a game of do you know who this guy is, it's do you know how to decipher this picture. So it's a little game in a game. I have a total of 7 head coaches here. That means it's first to 4 wins.
Cameron in 6.
Okay, predictions are out. You. Well, Cameron, Kyle, you got to prove them wrong.
Kyle in 7.
All right, and of course, how will I know? who's ready to guess without your classic buzzer sounds? So Cameron, I want to go to you first. What is your buzzer sound this week?
Kaboom!
Fuck you, copycat,
Okay.
idiot, loser.
That's an
God.
original idea, right, Ryan?
Yeah, I've never heard it before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is really good
I
for the
think
audio
Kyle's
listeners,
threatening my
Kyle.
mom.
What?
Kyle.
I did no such thing.
I'd like to go to you now. What will your buzzer be for this game?
Boop.
Poop.
Poop.
No.
It'll be
Boop.
poop.
No, I said
If you don't say
I said
poop, I'm not.
All right.
boop.
All right.
And with that,
Poop it is.
let's go ahead and begin with our first head coach.
Boom.
Boop.
It
Kyle,
didn't even load for me.
Get better. This is a football terrorist, Sean Payton.
that is Sean Payton. It's a little behind the curtains. We were gonna do this game at a previous point, and I did because I have this loaded up on my other monitor. So I had this loaded for the entire NBA segment one time, and he was just staring at me for quite literally 90 minutes almost, just looking
Big.
deathless into my soul, like the lich he is. Fuck Sean Payton. I don't like him.
He hit a bong with some college students.
All right. Here we go.
Boop.
Boo. Kaboom. Fuck
Kyle
it.
first, then Cameron.
Fuck. Is it D'Amico Ryans?
This is D'Amico Ryans.
I had that loaded.
Played for the Texans.
He did.
He's
and
back
now he coaches them.
coaching for the
Yeah.
Texans.
Mm-hmm.
Very good, very good. All right, 2-0. 2-0 to Kyle.
Shit.
This could be a sweep. It's looking like it right now. Let's go ahead and head to our third.
Boop.
It's Kyle again.
I forgot my buzzer noise.
Is that Dan Quinn?
That is Dan Quinn,
Oh, shit, I gotta come back.
head coach of the Washington Commanders.
God, those pictures are so fucking tiny. I have to like sit like way up here to see them.
Yeah, if I
But
make them
I'm
any
just-
bigger,
yeah.
they're incredibly blurry.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. All right, 3-0 Kyle. Cameron's got to start the comeback, and he's got to start the comeback now. Here's your fourth coach,
Kaboom.
Cameron.
Is that Aaron Glenn?
This is not Aaron
Okay.
Glenn.
Pictures so fucking tiny.
It is.
Here, I'll zoom it in, but it's not. It's gonna be less pixels. That's the trade-off.
Is that Mike Tomlin?
This is not
No.
Mike Tomlin.
God, who is?
Am I racist?
Yes.
Maybe a little bit for that one, because that looks
Oh.
nothing like Mike Tomlin.
I don't really know what Mike Tomlin looks like.
The standard is the standard.
God, what? What's the fucking Bucks coach name? Fuck. Is it Todd
Bowles?
Bowles?
Todd Bowles.
Todd Bowles.
It is Todd Bowles.
Damn.
All right. Let's see if Kyle can go for the 7-0 sweep.
I believe.
He's
I
pitching a
don't.
perfect game right now.
I'm gonna get one.
Well, he's pitching a no-hitter. He's not pitching a perfect game because he hasn't
Yep.
gotten all of them first. But can he keep the no-hitter alive? We are moving on to coach number 5.
Beep.
Kyle.
Or boop. Boop. Sorry. It was boop. I apologize to the fans at home for the integrity of the game. This is Nick Sirianni.
Nah, this is bitch-ass fuck McGee.
I
Also
was-
known as
bitch
Nick
ass fuck
Sirianni.
McGee.
I fucking hate Nick Sirianni. Jesus Christ. God.
Why does he look like that?
There are a few... There aren't a lot of NFL players that really just, like, get me fucking riled up and, like, roiling in rage. This motherfucker, I hate. I hate this motherfucker as much, if not more, than I hate Joel Embiid.
He's my least favorite NFL head coach.
Fucking hate this guy.
I don't like LaFleur purely because he coaches the Packers.
I take LaFleur 11 days out of 10 over this fucker.
Yeah, me
God.
too.
I hate him. I hate him so much. Now this is a punchable fucking face.
Yeah.
True.
God.
True.
Look at the even in his Wikipedia picture, he's a whiny little bitch. God, I hate him. I hate him. I hate him so much. I hate him. Let's go ahead. Let's head to number 6. 5-0 for Kyle. 2 more to complete the sweep. Here we go, coach number 6.
Kaboom.
I did hear Cameron start first.
Fuck.
Zach Taylor.
This is Zach Taylor. That's tough. He let off the gas.
I literally thought I had that frame 1.
Let's see if he can close it out. Make it a 6-1 instead of a 5-2. Here we go. Coach number 7, the final one.
Kaboom.
Boom. Fuck.
Cameron, I'm disqualifying you because
that was before.
You buzz in before it's even. You don't have the answer when you buzz in. You buzz in, then come up with the answer.
I said the answer.
Kyle.
It's Sean McDermott.
This is Sean McDermott.
Kyle was like, that's D'Amico Ryans.
At least I got there.
What do you?
Yeah,
I
did
had it ready.
When
you were saying,
Okay, so if you take away D'Amico Ryans, so if we give you 5-2,
that
does
would
that make
be
you feel better?
4-3 since that last one.
Yeah. Even then.
Yeah, even then. Would that make you feel better?
Because it doesn't change. It doesn't change who gets to cut down the nets at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You said beep for Sean Payton before he even loaded on my screen.
Also, to be fair, you did say beep.
Yeah.
Instead of boop that one time. So.
Yeah, and then I still corrected myself before Cameron said kaboom.
For the integrity of the game.
Yeah.
Well, for the integrity of the game, I didn't say anything because you already made a noise.
Well, to be fair, for 1 or 2 of those, you did also forget your buzzer noise, Cameron.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, it's not like Kyle had him locked and loaded.
You know what? You know who you sound like right now? You sound like Nick Sirianni.
That's the meanest thing you've ever said to Cameron. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Jesus.
You're just a whitey little bitch.
Oh, well, Cameron has left the studio.
That's actually gonna fuck this recording up. That sucks.
Nah, it'll be fine. I promise.
Viewers,
it will not be fine. This will be a pain in my ass to fix.
Yeah, this actually, like, as someone who edits the clips, this is gonna suck.
But you know what? Sometimes that's the price. The price we have to pay.
Okay, so while he's gone, can we just talk about, like, come on.
I had to call my therapist.
How could he do that?
I
had to call my therapist.
Did you have a minute to collect yourself?
I had to call my therapist.
I talked with Kyle, and Kyle, you stepped out of line. All right? Are you I know we talked about this, okay? Let's practice those skills.
I'm sorry.
For what?
You're sorry for what? Be specific.
For saying that you sounded like Nick Sirianni. That was really mean. And I'm sorry for it being mean.
Okay. Cameron?
You sound like a little fucking bitch right now.
All right. I took it all back. I meant it.
Hold up. How do I kick people? I figured it out.
Hey, Cam, what's the shape of Italy?
I figured out I found the remove button.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's all right. The bits come full circle. It's all done.
Yep.
All right. I found the
one more
button.
time and I'm quitting the podcast.
I think actually if we do it 8 more times, we get a free smoothie at Jamba Juice.
Yeah. Shout out the Jamba Rewards app. Dude, mango cocoa smoothie with whey protein in it fucking slaps.
I've never been to Jamba Juice.
You're missing out.
There's a smoothie place that's kitty corner to my apartment. It's a no-name smoothie. It's like it's like a bodega but for smoothies. Ooh. Peanut butter, banana, almond milk shake. That was like approximately this big. $6.
That's not bad.
It's not bad at all. With New York prices, that's good.
That's pretty good. I was gonna say my large Jamba the other day. He did give me extra because obviously he made a smoothie and it's just like it doesn't all fit in the cup. It was like $9.
Would you say
name brand?
It's name brand, and I mean it's really good, right?
It was very good. Yeah.
Would you say that you can't put down the cup?
I mean, okay, when I was drinking it, like I got to a point where it was just like I can't stop drinking it. It came in 2 cups, so I did have to put down 1 cup to drink
You
the
were
other
double
cup.
cupping it?
I had to double cup it. He did give me a choice.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but
Because
like
usually it's the other way around. It's 2 girls and just 1 cup.
Speaking of New
Fuck you.
York, Buffalo Bills running back.
So, that's as good of a segue as ever. Let's talk about the off season. You know, we're getting our shakes for fun. Athletes, they're focusing on their nutrition. They're getting ready for the season. They're in the ramp up now. And as of today, first day, the Tuesday, May 27th, the first day for OTAs for a lot of teams. These team activities, coaches really like to push them. They really emphasize them. They want people to be there because this is when a lot of that early season chemistry building happens. You see it in the Vikings. Look, let's be clear. JJ doesn't have to go to OTAs. Justin Jefferson could walk on the field day one and we'd say, "Thank you, sir," and I'd kiss his feet.
Well,
But
I think most people would kiss his feet, even if they're not Vikings fans. They're very pretty.
yeah, Wiki Feet came in clutch. But the presence that he has, he doesn't need to be at OTAs. But he was present at Vikings OTAs because this is when the chemistry gets built. This is when you build the timing on your, like, how many beats in my head as a quarterback do I need to wait before I throw this hitch route? Or if I'm a receiver, if I'm running a go, where does the quarterback like to put the ball on a go? Is it over the shoulder? Do I have to come back for it? This is when you build that chemistry. And with a new quarterback, with JJ McCarthy, Justin Jefferson understands that, and Kevin O'Connell pushes that hard. However, not everybody was present or in town, possibly,
or maybe
for OTAs.
got the message.
Or maybe got the message. Two of the big names that were not present on the first day of OTAs today, Kirk Cousins was not present in Atlanta for OTAs with the Falcons. And also star running back for the Buffalo Bills, James Cook, did not show at OTAs today. I want to start with Kirk Cousins, and then we'll get to James Cook. Kirk Cousins is currently the QB2 on the Falcons. The Falcons have said, or even if they haven't said, they've all but said, we are going with Michael Penix Jr. He is our quarterback of the future. I mean, they drafted him 10th overall. Or
No,
was
8th.
it 10th? 8th overall. They drafted him 8th overall for a reason. They believe that he can lead the franchise, and this is his runway to become that franchise starter for Atlanta. Kyle, I want to start with you. Kirk Cousins. Do you think, as you've seen plenty of Kirk Cousins when he was here in Minnesota, do you think that Kirk Cousins is going to be satisfied as the backup clipboard holder for Michael Penix Jr.? Or do you think he will be playing on another roster either by the start of the year or by the trade deadline?
He would rather donate all of his money to like a charity in Africa than be a backup quarterback in the NFL. And that's saying a lot because that man is greedy beyond all means. Like, holy shit. The big thing for Kirk is facing the writing on the wall that is called time. Like, you are getting older. You just, granted, it was 2 years ago now, but an Achilles tear. Like, your physical abilities in the game of in the game of football are going to deteriorate over time. It is now time to accept that fact.
Bless you.
No, you're good.
Yeah. Go ahead.
As Kirk would say, God bless you. Because that Christian man. But Kirk needs to face that writing and say it's time to be an adult. It's time to mature and not be a whiny little baby. And oh my God, I want money, 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 money. It's okay. You should start being a mentor because that's where satisfaction in life is going to come from. not from how much money you have in your bank account. So with that, I know that this season is probably not the season for him to be satisfied with that. I think in 2-3 years, we'll see a change of tune, kind of like we're starting to see Aaron Rodgers change his tune. I hate to bring him into it because I don't want him to have any credit, but like he's starting to change his tune of like, hey, I don't need the money. I just want to play. Like, I just want to play football. That's what Kirk should be doing. He should say, hey, I don't really care about the money. I want to play. I want to show a young guy how to be a starter in the NFL. And I'll take a pay cut. But he has too much of an ego to say that, like, this is my value. This is what I'm worth. You pay me this and I play. Not you pay me this and I don't play. Or, I play and you don't pay me this. Like, it's just like there's some mental lapse there that doesn't connect. I need Kirk to grow up. So I think by the trade deadline, he will be on a different team. I don't want to say by the start of the year, because I feel like a lot of teams right now are going to say, hey, let's evaluate the talent in the room. We're not going to just make this huge trade. And, you could, once you get to the trade deadline, if Kirk is toxic enough to the Falcons, you can get Kirk for a 6th-round pick, just to say, get him off my roster. And teams are probably going to hold out on that and probably not, do it in the summer or do it in the offseason. They're going to wait until the very last minute to secure that. So that's where I think maybe he will still be on the Falcons come day one, but then I don't see him on there by the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. And Cameron, I want to throw it to you. If you're the Falcons, as we've said, your guy goes by the name of Michael Penis Jr.
That is the name that he goes by, yes.
That's the name he goes by.
That he
so
goes
do you
by,
really
give it to him at birth?
Yes, his Christian name. So if you're the Falcons, do you really want Kirk Cuckins on your roster?
If I'm the Falcons,
what would you do if you were the Falcons here?
If I'm the Falcons, I understand that I am completely in the driver's seat. You're already paying Kirk money. Why not keep him as your backup? You're gonna pay him anyway. If he doesn't want to play for you, fine. Trade him to, like, buy out his contract, give him to, like, Pittsburgh or New Orleans, a team that needs a quarterback and a place that Kirk could start. You can get
they could very well trade him and his contract.
Yeah, even if that's a possibility.
If a team doesn't pick up his contract, because that's
still
the
have
whole
room to
reason
explore
Atlanta
all those
would want him
options.
off. Yeah,
I think, like, Kirk Cousins, he does not want to be a backup, which is the reason why he's not at OTAs. I think that's pretty clear. And if I'm the Falcons, I'm saying, okay, we're going to keep you. If you're really, 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 really not going to play for us, get out of here. We don't want you. But we're still paying you money. We're going to probably have to pay you money regardless. Be on our roster. He's he would still be one of the best backup quarterbacks in the league.
Oh, for sure. And
God forbid something happens to Michael Penis.
God forbid. Well, Michael Penis Jr.
Michael Penis Jr.
Yeah.
God
forbid something happens to Michael Penis Sr. as well.
Yeah, I am not sure of his health status at
current
the moment.
status.
I'm not.
Well, he has a history of injury. That was kind of his thing.
Michael Penis Sr. was, or Junior or Senior?
Michael Penis Jr. Yeah, he had a history of
I thought
injury
we were still
in college.
talking about Senior.
No. Junior.
Yeah.
Kyle. Well, first, any last points on Atlanta?
No, I just think this one they kind of just write it out. Kirk is kind of, I don't know, being a little baby, IMO.
And also, again, I don't throw this word out lightly by any means, but I'm going to say it. Kirk Cousins is what?
He was kind of moving like a statue last year.
Yeah, it was tough.
He did have that one 500-yard game, but that was like a fluke.
Well, remember he had switched up his stance in shotgun.
Yep.
And I don't know why they were so insistent on running him in pistol, because that's stupid. I don't know.
It's the system that they wanted for Penis.
Yeah, yeah, he might be cooked. He might be cooked. But Kyle, you talked earlier about OTAs. It's all about evaluating the talent in the room. What do we have? And then if you really find that you have a deficient need, you can go out and make a signing. And even some like really abysmal teams have some talent in the room that they can look at and they can go, you know what? New Orleans, we're going to suck ass this year. But let's see what Tyler Shuck is. Cleveland, we're Cleveland. But let's see what Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders might be. Who knows? And then there's Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Steelers currently,
let's see what Mason Rudolph might be.
Yes, have Mason the racist Rudolph, who got hit in the head with a helmet because he called Myles Garrett the N-word, is currently the projected starting quarterback on the roster for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That, of course, means that the long-rumored and thought to be the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Aaron Rodgers, has not signed a contract. He's made cryptic hints at events, like saying someone asked him if he would ever go play for Chicago, and he said no, but there might be a team that plays in Chicago this year that I'd play for. Notably, Pittsburgh has an away game at Soldier Field playing the Bears this year. Notably also, Minnesota has a game in Soldier Field this year.
As they do every year.
As they do every year. This puts Mike Tomlin in a tough situation because, like I said earlier, coaches love to stress the importance of OTAs and building chemistry. Why should any offensive player come to OTAs right now? Are you really going to push the narrative on them that you need to build chemistry with our starting quarterback, Mason Rudolph? If I were an NFL player and a coach looked me in the eyes and said, you are going to play with starting quarterback Mason Rudolph, I'd join the Arena Football League that instant. Because no, you can't do that. Like that's illegal. That's illegal in 17 states.
Yeah.
That's not allowed. So, Kyle, I want to throw it to you here from a Steelers perspective, and then we'll go to Aaron Rodgers. How, on a scale of 1 to 10, how badly have the Steelers botched this whole quarterback situation?
So are we saying that 10 is just like God tier awful?
10 is you've royally fucked it. You traded away. It's
10 is you are the Cleveland Browns.
Yes.
Okay. So then on a scale of 1 to 10, the answer is 1,000.
Okay.
Just purely atrocious as an organization. And might I add, a prestigious organization. Granted, a lot of NFL franchises are prestigious, but the Steelers are arguably one of the most prestigious with the amount of championships, the tenure, their longevity, Mike Tomlin, everything about the organization screams pedigree. And you're letting the inmates run the prison. You are letting Aaron Rodgers, who does not even play for your football team yet, dictate your entire offseason, dictate your entire franchise, because you have these slim odds that he will play for you. When you let the inmate run the prison, you have immediately lost. Again, there were so many opportunities, either in the draft or in free agency, for the past few months, because you knew that you were moving on from Russell Wilson and you knew you were moving on from Justin Fields. You knew.
Can I just hammer a point home real quick? Because you made a really good point, and I want to hammer this home. This team passed on Shedeur Sanders, not just in the first round, in the second round, and in the third round, and in the fourth round. And their starting quarterback was Mason Rudolph. Like, they didn't even get a guy for the future.
Yeah.
They got Will
They got
Howard,
a-
who's already 30. Or, is that his name?
Look,
Yeah, Will
the
Howard.
Ohio State quarterback. Look, I like Will Howard as much as I can like an Ohio State quarterback. But do you really, like, be serious. Be for real, Mike. Mr.
He's going to
Tomlin.
be a Kellen Mond.
He is going to be a Kellen Mond moment.
Mm-hmm. So, with all of that being said, for the Steelers, you have one option right now, and it's just fucking pay Aaron Rodgers. Just do it. Just fucking do it. You know what's going to happen. Why wait? Why have this circus or this fucking Spitfire, whatever you want to call the disaster class you've put on? Why let it go any moment longer? Just finish it. Say, okay, Aaron Rodgers is our starting quarterback. We're gonna, try and compete this year, and actually build the chemistry you need to attempt to be successful. Because if you let Aaron Rodgers walk in the building on July 1st and expect to be a competitor in the AFC North, you're sadly mistaken. And if I can tell you that as an outside perspective, who the fuck is running your organization and isn't telling you that?
Mm-hmm. Cameron, I want to throw it to you now from the other perspective. If you're Aaron Rodgers, I want you to do a little bit of speculation for us.
Ooh, speculation is hot right now.
Yes. Why is Aaron Rodgers not a Steeler right now?
I think he is not a Steeler because he likes having the media's attention on him. Every day, Pat McAfee...
You don't think he's waiting on a team?
Every day, Pat McAfee turns on that camera and says, Aaron Rodgers, still unsigned, still could go anywhere. He gets a boner. And then he touches it until white stuff comes out.
I think him and AJ Hawk do explore each other's bodies.
Yeah. So I think you could have a take and say, oh, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to do this. And no matter what you say, there's a realistic chance of it happening. I could say, I think he's going to move to Switzerland and become a professional tuba player in an orchestra.
Non-zero chance.
Non-zero chance.
It's not crazy to say that. You're not crazy for saying that.
Yeah. I think realistically, if I'm Pittsburgh, I don't sign him or anyone. I just accept being a shitter for a year and go get like Dylan Raiola or Arch Manning next year.
Yeah, this is the marathon for Manning this year.
And I think if the Steelers are going to move out of the mediocrity bubble to tank for a year, this is a good year to do it.
Yeah, I'm just...
It's still like gross to look at thinking that Mason Rudolph is a starting quarterback. That's a gross thought. I get it. But realistically, long term for the franchise's future, I would like to see them be ass for a season.
Yeah. It would be best for them to run it with Mason Rudolph and say, we are going 1-17. And we're going to get Arch Manning. But the Steelers' thing to do
would be to
sign Aaron Rodgers, go 9-8, and lose in the wild card, which is what I predict will happen. Except I don't even know if they make the wild card game at 9-8. So, but they will have, if they sign Aaron Rodgers before the first day of the season, if he's at any semblance of training camp, they will go 9-8.
I think that division is kind of going to suck ass next year. I think the Ravens are going to take a little bit of a step back, but it's still going to be clearly their division.
Mm-hmm.
And
the Bengals are still going to have no defense.
Yeah.
And then the Browns is the Browns.
Yeah.
There's a hot take. That division's going to be ass next year.
That is a hot take. Let's go ahead. Let's head to the AFC East and cap off this OTA discussion with James Cook, who is entering the final year of his rookie contract and is not present at OTAs, seeking an extension from the Bills. His rookie contract was, of course, 4 years, just under $6 million. So he was not making bank at all. James Cook has not come out and said, like, this is what I'm looking for, this is who I'm chasing. But we can imagine he's been a solid running back for the Bills for multiple years now. He's probably not looking at Derrick Henry extension numbers, but he may be looking at $9 to $12 million a year. That may be what he wants. Cameron, I want to start with you. If you're the Bills and James Cook comes up to you and says, I will play for your franchise if you pay me 3 years, $12 million a year. So 3 years, $36 million, say, or 3 years, 30-ish, in that range. Are you giving him that contract if you're the Bills?
Split second, yes. What the fuck?
Okay.
The Bills should be doing that.
Okay.
I don't really
do you
know.
think do you think James Cook can ask, do you think James Cook can ask, how much do you think, if you're James Cook, how much are you coming to the table looking for? Are you looking for a Derrick Henry level extension? Are you looking for 4 years, or forget, hold up, let me check.
Realistically,
what his,
you're playing for a
was.
contender. I don't think they can spend like huge money, but I think if you can get a 3-year contract, 15 mil each year, maybe like 12 mil each year guaranteed, that's all right, cool. I got dinner on the table for the next 30 years.
So Derrick Henry signed an extension this year, which was 2 years, $30 million. So $15 million a year.
I think James Cook can get that kind of money, especially since like the running back market is due for a price boom.
Well, it did kind of just hit one, but it's because he just had a historic season. Saquon Barkley did also get an extension this offseason, if you remember, and that is 2 years, $20 million a year. So 41 million total.
I think 15 for James Cook is good. I think he's a top 10 running back in the NFL right now. The Bills still don't have the greatest offensive weapons for Josh Allen in terms of receiving threats. They do have Dalton Kincaid, who's a good tight end, but you want to have that ground game there. Obviously, Josh can run a little bit, but if you can have a running back who can be a workhorse like James Cook has, you should pay for that. Just the way the roster is constructed right now, a guy like that is very important to have.
Yeah, so he'd be sitting around. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at on Spotrac at the active NFL running back contracts. I mean, at that 13 to $15 million range, you have Derrick Henry at 15, Jonathan Taylor at 14, who when he signed that contract was a top 2, top 3 running back in the league.
Now he's like top 15.
Yeah, he's kind of fallen off a little bit. Alvin Kamara is still getting 12 and a half.
And James Cook is better than Kamara.
Yeah, and Josh Jacobs is getting 12 from Green Bay.
He's better than James Cook.
Yeah, so it's really just the two outliers sitting at 20 and 19 a year of Saquon and CMC.
Yeah, but
we can all agree James Cook is not peak CMC, and he's not Saquon Barkley.
He's not an MVP caliber running back, but he's also nowhere near a scrub.
Yeah. So, Kyle, I want to, sort of coming off of this question, we've all sort of come together of like, he should get his extension. You heard me.
I don't remember this. What the fuck?
Well, it was.
What'd you give me?
For both of you, it was Nocturnal Emission technically, and I was awake. So
he's got some voodoo set up in there.
You just
that it's just off camera.
You just admitted to sexual assault on camera.
I didn't do anything. I don't control your dreams. I just happened to be there.
Oh, okay.
I didn't do anything. I took no active instance in making
like
you
were in our dreams. Oh,
yeah.
like some fucking Friday the 13th or type shit.
No,
or
because
Nightmare
that
on
dude
Elm
was a
Street.
pedophile. I ain't no Freddy Krueger.
Oh, okay.
That dude touched kids.
Yeah, he did do the touching of the children.
But Kyle's butt. Do you think that with, for the last couple of years, the last couple of off seasons, we've been talking about running back is dead. The running back is dead. Running back contracts are dead. No one will ever pay a running back again. And then immediately we have 2 all-time great running back seasons, and they both get paid. Do you see a resurgence for the running back and the art of paying the good running back coming back in the NFL?
A little bit. I think that, unfortunately, the way that the NFL works, positions are going to get paid more than others. Obviously, quarterback is the number one position, and it will always be that way forever and ever. Then is where it gets tricky. Between like defensive ends, wide receivers, safeties, quarterbacks. Then it gets to running back or tight end, even. Like, when you're getting to like that deep in your positional chart and trying to, prioritize paying your elite players, running back is just naturally going to fall to the wayside compared to other positions. So with that in mind, saying, hey, James Cook, here's a $12 million a year contract for a few years. That's insanely good. Like, it's incredible to be in that market. And obviously,
throwing a solid amount of guaranteed money there too.
Yep. Like, it sucks when you have to compare it to other positions. Obviously, that's just the nature of this game, and like trying to pay players to be able to play at a high level year round. But that's the one thing I wish we could stop doing, is comparing, like, hey, the running back market compared to the wide receiver market, or compared to even like the tight end market or the corner market. Like, finding like that caveat to things makes it harder for these positions to get paid, because we're not even talking about freaking offensive linemen. Tackles get paid good money. They get paid more than running backs do. So again, there's so many conversations that get had of, comparing, like, oh, the running back market isn't that good. It's still fucking $10 million a year. That's still good money. Especially with the NBA, or not the NBA, the NFL salary cap, and certain teams are spending 50 to 60 million almost on quarterbacks. Still saying, yeah, our court, yep. Still being able to say, yeah, we have a $10 million running back is a blessing. So, as to put a bow on my thoughts, the Bills need to pay James Cook to keep Josh Allen happy. So that would be one aspect to this. The other unfortunate aspect, if I remember correctly, was when Saquon signed that extension this year, James Cook was the first person to respond to it and said, I need that money. Like, there was some public statement there on either Twitter or Instagram where he was like, I need that kind of money. So this conversation that we've had, he's not a Saquon Barkley player. He's not a CMC. He's not a Derrick Henry. He's up there, but I think that 10 million is a realistic standard, as long as we're not comparing it to other markets.
Yeah. You think in terms of like impact on the field, and wide receiver is pretty comparable to running back in terms of you need to build out your rooms of those in order to win. But just even the high and mid tier receiver contracts are leagues better than the running back contracts. So that comparison is just interesting, and the fact that it exists, in a rebalanced world, I think their markets would be pretty similar.
Yeah, I think it partly comes down to that a lot of offenses nowadays, the reason to run the ball is to set up the pass. So it comes down to a lot of offenses are focused around the passing game and their ability to take deep shots, because it is the most effective way to generate big plays.
Mm-hmm.
And big plays are how you win games. It's like big plays like busted coverages, or on the defensive end, interceptions, turnovers, things like that. Those are big single plays. Whereas you don't really see any teams anymore that are like 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Even the Bills, which are such a run-heavy team. I mean, they love to run the ball. They have James Cook and Josh Allen. They still rely on the passing game, the deep passing game with Gabe Davis, and although I don't know if I think he's in Jacksonville now. They had Stephon Diggs for a while, but
no, they've got Khalil Shakir and Keon Coleman.
But they still rely on that passing game, and I think it's just the other thing is when you find it's a lot harder to find an elite number one receiver than it is to find a really good running back. So you can draft, like, take this year, Omarion Hampton or Quishon Judkins, the two running backs out of Ohio State. I think they're both going to be good. I think they're going to be good running backs. I could even say really good. I don't think they're going to be Ashton Genty, but they're going to be really good. None of the receivers, not even Tet McMillan, not Travis Hunter, none of the receivers this year are going to be Justin Jefferson. They're not even going to be A.J. Brown. It's just so much harder to find that game wrecker wide receiver than it is to find that really good running back. And I think that's where the pay disparity kind of comes from.
That's fair.
But you know what isn't disparate? The quality of the one, the only, Cameron, and his album of the week. Cameron, what have you got for us this week?
I've got Jeff Rosenstock's fifth studio album, Hell Mode. Yeah, so Jeff Rosenstock, he is a pop punk / ska / I guess just punk rock musician from Long Island. Did I say that right?
Long Island.
Long Island.
Long Island. You're from Long Island?
Jeff
Well,
Rosenstock
where
is from...
on Long Island?
I don't know, it just is Long Island.
Could be Long Island City. I don't know. We'll find out. Maybe.
Yeah, he was born in 1982. He started his first band in 1995 called the Arrogant Sons of Bitches. He and a friend started it just by playing Green Day covers, eventually evolved. They broke up in 2004. That's when he started his next project called Bomb the Music Industry. It was originally a solo project, but then eventually evolved into a band. They released 4 or 5 albums together. They went on hiatus in 2012. They performed their last concert together in 2014, which is when they officially broke up, but they stopped making music together in 2012, which is when Jeff Rosenstock began making his own music. Started with a debut mixtape called I Look Like Shit in 2012. 2013, he released another mixtape called Summer 7 Club. His first album came out in 2015. It was called We Cool. It was followed by 2016's Worry, 2018's Post, 2020's No Dream, 2021's Ska Dream, which is a ska remake of No Dream. And then finally his fifth album, Hell Mode, was released. It was a surprise release. It was dropped on August 31st, 2022 or 2023. Long ahead of the given release date of September 1st. And yeah, this album was met with critical acclaim. Jeff's been in the space a long time. He's learned a lot. The biggest way you might have heard of it is Anthony Fantano gave it his album of the year in 2023. I kind of found it a little late into its life cycle, probably April or May 2024. The song Liked You Better came up on my daily discovery, and I was like, cool, I'm going to check out this album. And then I really liked it, and I was like, oh, I wonder what Fantano gave it. And then I saw that he said it was the best album of the year, and I was like, oh, cool. Yeah, I really like it. Other than the last 2 tracks, I love all these songs. Last 2 I'm just all right about, but yeah, before I get into a couple of the tracks, just a couple more things about Jeff Rosenstock. In the end of 2024, he came out as non-binary, but still uses he, him pronouns. Just, it can be whatever you want it to be, however you feel, and he doesn't feel like fully a man, but you know, good for him. Another thing, he is very politically active, politically motivated, and politically inclined. There are
A
lyrics.
pop punk artist being politically engaged?
I know but he's been performing at benefit shows for Palestinian relief, and that's really cool to see. He's been very progressively vocal for the past decade or two, which is cool. It's expected, but still cool. Like from artists in the scene, other than Ronnie Radke. Yeah. So first song, "Will You Still You." It's got a pretty cool breakdown in the middle, and then it comes in. There's a fun little glockenspiel line right before the vocals come back in, and it just builds up to a really cool outro. The track "Head" is super interesting to me. It's not about getting top, actually. It's about anxiety about like existentialism, living, climate change, late stage capitalism and fascism, and how just thinking about it can feel terrifying, but if you're not thinking about it, it doesn't stop happening. And I thought that was super interesting. Liked You Better, kind of just a fun love-ish song. There are yeah, about half of these songs are about like love relationships or identity. Half of them have some sort of like politically motivated theme. One of them being the fifth track, "Future is Dumb." This is about identity, and as well as like nothing is guaranteed, both in your own personal future and in the future of the country that we're living in. You might have a plan, not going to go that way most of the time. Soft Living and Heal Mode are pretty chill songs. Life Admin, track 8, is another standout to me. One of my favorite things on this album is just his cadence. At some points, he doesn't necessarily line up new sentences with the start and end of like lines or measures or whatever. He'll like continue them throughout, starting and stopping them at various points in the beat. That's especially clear in like the middle part of this track list and in the song Life Admin. It's like, I might go off to the desert cause I make enough to fuck off to the desert if I want. It's just very like, I don't know, it gets me really engaged. It feels fresh, and it like draws his lyrics more to the forefront, and he is saying some important things in some songs, not necessarily in this one, but it's still fun. I Want to Be Wrong, also down there in the track list, banger. Not really huge on the last couple of songs, but I would still absolutely recommend checking out this whole album. Easily a 9 out of 10 or higher for me. I would describe this to anyone as My Chemical Romance if they had a background making ska music, just sonically.
Yeah, Future is Dumb does one of the things near the end of the song that I really like, specifically when like alt rock or punk rock songs do, which is like, I don't know how to describe it. You have the main vocals, but then it sounds like a crowd is chanting with them. The vocals at the end, I like it. I like the sound, but I want to give a special shout out. This is my special shout out of this album to specifically the guitar strumming pattern at the beginning of Liked You Better before the drum comes in. I just love it. It scratches the itch in my brain. It's like, oh yeah. It's like it's one of the it's like if you took this it's like if you took the strumming pattern. It's like if you took the strumming pattern from Renegade by X Ambassadors, but sped it up. Like dun 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 kind of thing. Except it does it well. And it's good. And it doesn't do the same thing over and over. There's some variation within it. It's good. It's my special shout out. And then it still sounds good once the drums come in and it gets all the layers added back onto it. He's good. I like.
Yeah, I didn't really have any like specific call outs. I hate to say it, like just like kind of ran through the album, but Cam sent it to us. I listened to it right away, and I was kind of maybe not in the focused headspace for it. But it definitely was like a good vibe. Like it wasn't anything that I like didn't enjoy. It was cool. It was, not like in your face, but it had a lot of unique styling to it. I think if I remember correctly, I want to say the one song that I like really enjoyed was Doubt. And I want to say it's the one where he kind of like goes back and forth with himself, with some like vocal patterns. I thought it worked really well. But yeah, overall, like it's a good project. Again, I'm sure that I'm not giving it the credit that it's due, but still good stuff.
Also on the album cover, there is someone wearing a Knicks jersey. There's a Jack playing card wearing a Knicks jersey.
Yeah, I will say this album cover is very it's very like Macintosh HD, like hyper wavy for me. I like
There's a
it.
lot going on.
It's a cool album cover, but it's that same kind of like a lot going on, but it's also weirdly surreal.
I fuck with it.
I fuck with it heavy. It just
I
reminded
fuck.
me of if no you don't.
No, you don't.
I know.
None of us do. We're on a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a sports podcast.
We don't fuck.
No.
Not at all.
Podcasters either don't fuck or they fuck illegally.
Hate women.
So
Yeah. Or they just
I think
don't
we're in the
respect
better.
women.
I think we're in the morally superior pool.
Incredibly so. I would tend to agree. And you know who else is more morally superior? Our viewers for having listened to our podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day.
Leave some
to
mail
spend
for
it with
us.
Yes, please. Again, you can find the link on our Instagram, our Twitter page, or in the description of this very episode and all episodes going forward. You can find the link to our mailbox. Please call in. We want to hear what you have to say. But thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to what we have to say. I hope if you're listening to this on release, I hope you have a wonderful Friday. If you're listening to it during the weekend, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. If you're listening to it during the week, I hope you have a wonderful week.
And
Thank
if you're
you all so
listening
much
to this
again.
on release, I hope the Wolves win Game 6 tonight.
True. It will. It would.
What?
If on release, it would be Game 6
Mm-hmm.
on Friday.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Game 6 is tomorrow.
No,
that's Game
five
5.
is tomorrow.
I am tired.
Hi,
Kyle can't
tired.
do
I'm
math.
Cameron.
That's right. Get fucked. Thank you all so much, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 I had a kid sing 1 pound fish at me today.
At you?
Yeah, at